Hello guys, and welcome back to Strategic Command, World War II, World at War. I'm a little sick, so please bear with my voice if it sounds weird. We have gotten our turn back from Travis just after we recorded this summit. We actually had to delay this turn for a week to make room for the summit. Let's see, he's bombarding at Masawa. Oh, he's moving up by Bonga. Uh-oh. That's not good. I mean, I always planned to lose this area, so none of it really surprises me. He stepped into Mogadishu. He's got that sub moving up along the coast. Bulgaria's joined the war. Awesome. Awesome. I feel like we might start this war literally before Yugoslavia even joins at this rate. That's what it feels like. So he captured Mogadishu. India has joined the war. This is, I think, the first turn they could have joined with his choices, and he got lucky and got it immediate, so that's interesting. He's moving communist China towards the Allies. Interesting. Kind of pointless, because they would join no matter what, but I don't really mind. He probably spent Chinese MPPs on that, so that's 50 less he gets to use on other things. Tons of raiding going on. Most aggressive turn he's had in a while, but my turns have been pretty passive recently, so... Germany advised to garrison Soviet frontier. No less than 4 units within 6 hexes of Warsaw. Yep, more rockets. And they didn't really tell me about the mobilization thing here, but we are officially getting debuffed for having too many units on the border. They're up to 38%, definitely going up. But that's fine, because we're gonna do an invasion basically the moment the weather allows. And we want to be ready. We want to be ready. The coalition forces, as I like to refer to them, the Axis minor forces, have still a lot of preparation to go before they're really ready to go, unfortunately. But we'll do the best that we can. First thing we're going to do is move this Romanian corps up against Odessa. We're going to move the 2 Romanian armies forward and up to the border here. The Romanian HQ, good question. Let's say we put it over here at Galati. We're going to take the Hungarian HQ and put it at Bacali. Bacali. It's hard to read these fucking names. Not like pronouncing, but I mean like the text is so tiny and it's white on a white background right now. And then we're going to move this Hungarian army forward. The Germans are going to be pushing kind of through here, so this is going to be kind of a team effort. So Hungarian army... We're gonna have to force march this one. Hungarian army. And then let's say Hungarian corps. Just get these guys to the border for right now rather than focusing on upgrades. 342 MPPs remaining. We could definitely go ahead and reinforce this fighter. I think that's something I want to do. It can only go up 3 points. Oh yeah, where it is just has never had supply. Okay. Well, this is gonna be playing it dangerously just close, but I guess we'll just move it up then, in that case, you know? It can also sit on Brasov, because we don't really plan on having a lot of bombing around here, and it will have range from Brasov. So let's just put it on Brasov. It can protect everything from there, and we'll get it upgrading and etc. later. We have tons of upgrades and other things to do. We know the rockets are just going to operate because they move so slowly, so let's just place this back here at like Frankfurt. They also need upgrades. We have some tactical bombers available, 2 of them. This is the ones I started building for the frontier. So let's see, we have 1 TAC, 1 fighter, 1 fighter, 1 fighter, 1 fighter, 1 medium bomber, 2 TACs incoming. Those will kind of go probably, another medium, around here. So the other TACs should go up north because, you know, we want to get these in the line as soon as possible. We might be cutting it close, actually. There's no way to fully know that, but we might be technically cutting it pretty close. So let's put this tack right over here where it's going to be like kind of on the border there, and then now this will be interesting because the reach, you know, the reach is going to be a bit of a struggle here. Let's say something like right here is probably a good spot for that tactical bomber. The Japs have the Hiryu carrier ready to go, and that deserves to be in a port of its own, all right? So we'll have to... Huh? Packaging uploading, what? What? Hello? What was that? That was really weird. Anyway, let's take the I-15 sub. Let's move it down to the Mariana Islands. Get out of the ports. Hiryu carrier. Go right there. Heavy artillery. First heavy artillery. Go towards Nagasaki. We gotta transport you. Still haven't paid for the next heavy artillery yet, but cool that that one's done. If you haven't watched the summit, it was funny because last turn was December. Travis has actually been asking me for a Christmas truce, and I haven't really replied to that, but I only attacked one unit apparently last turn. He goes, that basically was a Christmas truce. Germany finished a lot of research, so they have a lot to do. Way more than we can afford to do in one turn, let me tell you. But we finished a lot of things permanently, so the choices are shrinking. Certainly shrinking. So naval would be good later. Naval everything would be good later. Advanced subs, that one is very important, very important. So we're going to get that one going. Definitely don't want that to fall behind. 192 MPPs remaining. We have too much unit stuff to do to afford to put any more in. So let's get this rocket weaponry upgraded so it can start actually shooting next turn. That would be good. And we have a whole front line here that needs some getting ready. We actually have 3 TAC bombers coming up. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, alright. We don't really have great range to work with is the problem, really. That's the biggest problem. But I guess maybe putting one over on Lublin wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, probably not too bad. Let's move that one up to Lublin. And then just keep these ones. This one's caught up in the weather, unfortunately. We'll just move it over. Maybe here would be good. We're stacking so many units. It's starting to become problematic to actually fitting anything. This one will just move up to Brno for right now. 172 MPPs remaining. And we have a tank that needs to reach over here. The Africa Corps tank. Yeah, so we can reach there. Cool. That tank's going to pile up right there. Field artillery can upgrade its artillery. We're going to do that so it's ready to go towards Finland as soon as humanly possible. We have some other things that need some upgrades. For example, normal reinforcements on the Africa fighters would be very useful. 65 MPP spent, 97 remaining. Everything else is either elite reinforcements. Actually, no. The Africa units really don't have their upgrades yet. There's also operating the HQs. I haven't forgotten about that. And that is a reason why I shouldn't have this on Lublin, huh? Because an HQ would really be preferred to go there. Yeah, okay. So you move back a touch, actually. Can I operate one right now? Do I need to? All these things take the same amount of turns to do, so it's like, it doesn't really matter. Rommel, he's just kind of rolling for now. Can I operate you still? Oh, it's only 33 MPPs to operate you. I thought it would be way more. Okay, so we have, this is von Manstein, yes? We have von Lieb up north. Von Bach here. Was I going to replace them? Eventually, yes. What is this? Why is it just doing this? Did they... I saw there was an update to the game. I guess maybe they're just... like... Is there an autosave now? That's cool, I guess. But it's scary when you don't... There isn't even a patch notes on, like, Steam yet that I've seen. So I don't know what the fuck's happening. Well, alright. Anyway, fucking gotta figure out what to do. So we'll take von Rundstedt. Rommel has some catching up to do. I don't really know where Rommel's gonna go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 German HQs up there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's the 5th one going? This front is not actually that big. I guess one's just gonna have to linger behind a little bit somewhere. Maybe over here. Maybe by Torun or something. Yeah, maybe that would be good. So Rommel, he's just probably gonna keep running. 1, 2, 3, war might start. I don't know about that. We probably just need to operate them both. Oh yeah, operating, that depends on their rating as well. Isn't that funny? All right, we'll just operate Rommel into Lublin. So we have our best HQs in the center there. And then the other one, I guess, could go to somewhere like Torun. It could, yeah, it could go somewhere like Torun. Move this down south a touch is what we'll do. And then we'll operate von Rundstedt who he's not going to be replaced. His leader is more than sufficient to tow run. So we got 2, 2, and 1 down here where it matters less because the coalition Axis forces are down there. This does mean that unfortunately I no longer have the MPPs to reinforce or even upgrade the Catfish sub, so that's a big oof on my part, I suppose. But still, look at our MPPs. We have so many upgrades to do. I'm tempted to put off any research these upcoming turns. January, we still don't want to attack no matter what. February, probably not. The winter over here is usually longer too, so we're definitely not attacking next turn no matter what. January, February, March. March, maybe? Really depends on the weather. May, probably by May. That's the way I see it. April, wait, March, April, I forgot about April. April, maybe. May is like the latest I'd want to attack by. There's so much upgrading and other things that I can do. There's some cores moving to the front too, so we gotta keep those moving, I suppose. Yeah. They can't all get particularly far. This one can get, let's say, over here. This one's just gonna tread north. This one's going to tread east. This one, the Africa one, will tread, let's say, over here. This is a decent spot. Right over there. This one tread more towards, yeah, Breslau, towards the center. There's still enough MPPs to get one of the cores to infantry weapons level 2, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. 4 MPPs remaining, and then we're basically done as Germany. We just gotta move some other things around. One thing is to move this destroyer here, which he said to hug the coast. That's what he told me to do, which I remember mentioning that he was chasing my subs going down here. And I mentioned that they might run into each other, and he kind of has the same idea. So he said he doesn't even remember if he kept the line safe, so he said to just hug the coast, because then he can guarantee that it's safe. So this destroyer is over here now, and it's in range of supply. It'll be here next turn, and then in the Mediterranean, and then the Mediterranean will become a bit of a hotbed again. We definitely do want to get these upgrades going, so you know what? Because we know he's coming down here. So let's just go put this in Las Palmas. Let's move. Let's move down a little bit. There you go. So he's not entirely expecting us to be there. I want to get those upgrades in because if he's going to run into us with destroyers, we need to have a little bit of a advantage there. This is just going to be a real simple moving, let's say down here, moving down here. And then that's pretty much it for right now. Just keeping raiding pretty much wherever. I don't think he's focusing as much on stopping my raiding as he could regardless. Just let them continue doing their jobs. Then with that, I believe we moved everything that we are going to move with Germany, that we want to move with Germany. We could start rocketing London next turn. That'll be useful. And we'll continue doing that for a while. He might respond by trying to start bombing some more, but we'll see. Down here in Libya, we're going to move our Gazoni HQ as forward as it can get, which is not a lot, but it's something. We're going to move these cores forward a bit, probably. Just as far as they can get normally, just moving up. Until this HQ's here, I feel like we're not quite ready to go on a full offensive, but also there's nobody else currently that I would want to send down here. It's just more of getting the HQ positioned, because otherwise, I mean, look at the supply up here. It's not really great for opening like a full front yet. Japan has a couple things to do. We need to get these fighters reinforced finally. I don't want to keep operating them without reinforcing them. And with the snow, I'm still not too keen to go on any assaults. I wanted a pretty peaceful winter for upgrades and reinforcements and whatnot, and that's kind of still the goal. But also, I think this is a pretty good opportunity because we have no research to do to get that other heavy artillery in, because there's only one more to buy. Then I have both of them, and that's going to help me kind of future-proof China when the war starts. So let's go ahead. I'm going to do that now, because I've kind of looked around to make sure that it'll all be fine. So we are going to purchase this heavy artillery here. Second heavy artillery, 91 MPPs remaining. And then a lot of these things down here are already upgraded, and supply here is now doing pretty well. This means we have just put off, technically, upgrading these anymore. 10, really. 10, 9, 8. So this is just playing off of Nanning. Okay, so Nanning is clearly the more important place to have an HQ. Got it. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to move 21st Army up. We're going to move the North Chinese Front Army up behind it. We're going to move this corps forward, and we're going to move this army forward, kind of opening a front. He may be in fortifications here, and he might be entrenched. He's got 2 supply here. He's got 5 here. This will die. This will fall. This will break. This will die. It will not last. The Umezu HQ, I'm thinking we go ahead and we just put that over here in the Kulin Pass, because it's just going to bounce the supply further forward off of Nanning. So, since we can't really afford to replace these currently, actually we can by the looks of it. Yeah, we can. Suzuki, what? Oh no, we can't. Never mind. We could probably afford some of the cheaper ones, and that's why it's showing me that. But that's fine, we don't need to do that just yet. We have other things that we can do. We're going to reinforce this core right here, get that back up to strength. We are going to put elite reinforcements right here on this army, get that as strong as possible. We got some nice elite armies forming here. We got interrupted. This is really obnoxious. It's cool, but it's obnoxious, dude. Because the saving process takes so long, and like whatever I'm doing, it just fucking interrupts me. If that's like a new feature, I sure hope I can turn it off somewhere, because that's so annoying. Like, it's cool, right? But ugh, I can save myself, thank you. I do it quite regularly because I'm quite paranoid, but whatever. 55 MVPs remaining. If we're not doing any bombing, like we don't have the fighters ready, let's just get elite reinforcements on the medium bombers as well. Let's go ahead and upgrade some long-range aircraft on these TAC bombers. 10 MPPs remaining. It's not a whole lot to work with, but I've done all the spending that I was hoping to do. I've done all of it. So we're going to force march this corps, the Peking Defender Corps. It's going to leave Peking because, well, I kind of already explained my rationale behind why I want to do what I want to do here. We're going to move that just behind this line over here. It's going to like swap in. They're going to get some upgrades and stuff like that. 10 MPPs remaining, and this one can't really, this army cannot upgrade right now with the remaining MPPs. That's fine. I'm happy with this turn. This winter and the lead up into the winter, I guess, as well. It was mostly December. It's all about upgrading, but we are still kind of getting into offensive positions down here in the south. In the far south, this is just still kind of building up. And again, as a reminder, we're not getting America into the war this year. We're not. We're not going to aggravate them. Soviets, sure, we'll invade a little bit early, in fact. But America? No, we're going to keep them out as long as possible. I'm going to move this garrison into the mountains for a moment because it's actually kind of in my way. The 5th Corps here is going to move over hither because it's going to swap in and help with upgrades here as well. Don't know, I might try to pull some armies off the line here. I'm really not sure how to handle this fully. I might just kind of leave it the way it was once the upgrades are done, with just this one corps up here, the rest of these being armies and whatnot. And then I still don't know the fate of the 1st Kwantung army. This is going pretty slow, but I can't really go much faster. This is just what I can do. Wow, we could deal 4 damage with this army right now if we wanted to, but I don't know if I want to. These Bulgarian garrisons are gonna move. I'm gonna put them on the capitals of these other countries, so 2nd garrison go to Bucharest, 1st go up towards Budapest. I would like to keep things a little kind of semi-defended, because we don't know what he's going to do or where he's going to do it pretty much ever. So very, like, important things that if we lost them in one turn, it would make a game potentially changing effect. Yeah, we want to keep that shit pretty nice and fine. We know he's still kind of expecting a Sea Lion, maybe. I think he really is kind of starting to doubt it now, even if he wouldn't say it in the summit. But he's still keeping an eye over here, which is fine. By the time we start Barbarossa, he'll, like, by that point, he would already, I think, have fully accepted that Sea Lion is not happening. I think he doesn't really understand exactly what my plans are yet. And he's not really doing a whole lot to prepare himself other than building some scattered fortifications. Either way, it's going to be very interesting. We know that he thinks that I'm trying to be defensive over here, potentially, if I'm not going to attack. So maybe this preparation time in Italy will actually be a good thing. I'm just going to save their MPPs, though, because it's going to take maybe like 1 and then maybe two more turns to really get in position with these HQs. And so for 2 more turns, basically until, you know, when the winter's done, that's when we'll start attacking down here as well. So he's going to have a lot of things to focus on all at once. In the meantime, I could just kind of save up for the next infantry weapons. And quite frankly, that would be game-changing if we could get that stuff on Italy. It really would be. Could also go for infantry warfare. That could be important. Logistics. I'm not really sure. Some game-changing things that are more expensive, I think would be better to try to save up for in these couple of turns. I feel like our forces here are sufficient. It's not like I'm trying to do a massive assault into here, just a big enough one to keep him distracted in the region. My biggest thing is, you know, Germany's fleeing into the Soviet Union while ignoring the Baltic states. Like, that's going to be kind of a big thing. And then Japan getting ready. We're thinking very long-term, not quite as short-term as the last time. But overall, I think we're doing better than the Axis did in real life. I'm quite happy about that. But that is going to be the end of this turn, it seems like, yeah. So let's go ahead and hit end turn. Pass things over. India joins the Allies. Yeah, we knew that. Japanese advances in China cause concern in the USA. Oops. Mao is concerned about Japanese advances. Okay, so that's gonna piss them off a little bit. Japan must prepare for war with the Allies. War with the Commonwealth and America may soon be unavoidable. It's recommended we prepare to not only deal with the U.S. Navy at Pearl Harbor, but also to invade and capture important oil installations in the DEI. But we have the DEI, so it doesn't matter. This expansion of hostilities, if decisive, will help protect our empire by securing our positions and resources in Southeast Asia, prepare for war with the Commonwealth and the United States. Japanese reinforcements. In preparation for war with the U.S. and the Commonwealth, the following elite units will deploy in April. New HQ in Takao. Special forces, 3 of them just spread around. I think this is another special forces, yeah. Special Philippines Expedition Force based out of Hiroshima will also be ready in April 1941, consisting of an HQ, 2 special forces, and an additional army. So that's what they kind of expect me to use then. I guess that's like historical. Kind of makes sense, I suppose. It's really not what I'm going to use, but Italy gets long-range aircraft. That's good. Research progress with Japan. Command and control level 1. Oh my god, that's so nice. Japan really needed that. They actually really did. They really did. Good MPPs coming in. Still paying off that Africa Corps. That's limiting our MPPs for upgrades right now, but it's about to wear off. He thinks, based on what I heard in the summit, he believes that the Africa Corps is already in Libya. So that is a big factor that might hold him back from really doing anything over there at all, but we'll see. This is done. This is not a full episode yet, so we will just resume this when he gets to turn back to me. I already know we have some stuff to go over, thanks to my messaging with Travis, but we'll wait until we see it. This is probably going to be, yeah, a fairly eventful turn. As you see, he just annexed Basra. Oh, Banga has been taken. Massawa's being bombed. If Massawa can stay alive, that will make my tactical error down here at Dire Dawa not as bad. Not as dire. Destroyer running into one of my subs. Subs dives. This is in the northern Atlantic. Not too bad. Okay, AA fire. He tried to bomb right there, and he found out about the rockets by flying over them right now. He took some damage, don't know how much. He's trying to specifically bomb the mine. And now he has a ship trying to bombard the right. He doesn't even know what they are. He doesn't even know what they do. You see Iraq join. Oh my god. He doesn't he asked me what rockets are. He doesn't even know what they are. And seeing them was scary enough to him that he tried to bombard them with a light cruiser. He's just shooting at scary thing. He doesn't know what it is. But the pro-Axis coup happened in Iraq. That means all the MPPs he spent on Iraq this entire time to get them to join the Allies has failed. Mao is still being pushed towards China because I guess we've pushed too far. He's also spending MPPs on it. We're doing some raiding. Sudan, UK, New Zealand, UK, Canada, UK, French Pacific colonies joined the Free French. We expected that as well. He went ahead and did the sanctions. So he spent 140 MPPs on Iraq to do the sanctions. So I'm going to get prompted as well. We have some intel we're getting. Nothing surprising yet. Is that it? I know there's probably going to be a decision pretty immediately. Yep. Okay, so what's this? Italian? Yeah. Baghdad reports Rashid Ali needs weapons, money, and air support. The Italians are preparing to send some aid, but to have any effect, we will also need to send a mission of our own called Sonder Commando Junk. at a cost of 30 MPPs. Unfortunately, even with our support, the Iraqis are very unlikely to hold out indefinitely, but this mission could make them hold out for longer and therefore delay the enemy's resumption of oil production. Would you like to send Sonder Commando Junk to support the Iraqis? By sending aid to Iraq, we will strengthen Rashid Ali's position when the Allied forces advance on the Iraqi capital. This will effectively reduce the chance of the Iraqis surrendering when 2 or more Allied units reach Baghdad from 75% to 25% per turn. Saying yes to this will increase our diplomatic position in Syria, as the presence of our aircraft moving through Syria will move that country 10 to 15% towards the Axis. So just by doing the 140 MPP's sanctions, he has already moved Syria closer to the Axis. You see they're now 5%. They were pretty much just completely neutral before. We can move them even closer. That won't be insane, you know, but it'll be something for 30 MPPs and make this process here take longer for him. He got an Indian Corps to spawn out of it, which he saw as a win. It's definitely a discount, but you know, it's over here, not over here. He is definitely bothered that this happened. He was so bothered that this happened that he was complaining about every single mechanic leading up to it, calling it bullshit and like saying it's dumb and all that stuff. So this definitely fucked with his plans, but he doesn't know the history of this. He doesn't understand that he's gonna get all this stuff back anyway. And there's not a lot I could do to stop him if I don't already have like Turkey or Syria or somewhere to get supplies here. He's just going to take it back, as is historical. 30 MPPs to get 10 to 15% movement towards Syria, that's way cheaper than a crit from a chit. So I'm definitely going to say yes to that, just for that. I don't care about this part of keeping the Iraqis alive, because that only even matters if he sends more units, and I don't know if he has more units spawned in. He might have something at Kuwait that was there since the start of the game. Regardless, I'm going to say yes to this specifically just to move Syria a little bit more. German pressure on Syria moves it towards the Axis. It was so crazy. He was talking to me about this, and he's like, oh, I have to spend the 140 MPPs, because then I can make you spend the 30 MPPs, and then I win. He has a very interesting view on the situation. I understand that the Allies make more, but I was really surprised to hear him think 140 MPPs from him is, and you know, everything that comes from this, is better for him if he gets me to spend 30 MPPs, as if that's a lot of money. It is a very interesting difference in perception, but I'm happy. You know, he had a lot of chits in here. We know now, thanks to the summit, he doesn't have chits into Iran. All those chits were from France. But he's been spending like UK chits to get this going. And he put at least 150 MPPs into this, and it failed. They will forever be Axis. Even as they're conquered, they will just be occupied Axis. And if we free them later, well, there you go. I still find it hilarious, man. He flew over here. He's like probably spotted this AA as well. Looks like it felt like we only had 1 intercept, not 2. So I don't really know why we only defended once, but we defended once. He did 1 supply damage to this, so I think we lost 2 MPPs, which is not a lot considering he took damage on the Strat Bomber. He doesn't value this correctly. He really doesn't. He has described to me that every time he raids and does damage that he wins. He might just be trying to sound confident, but I don't know, like, if he believes it, then that means he really doesn't understand the value of Strat Bombers versus this. Because I'm sure he sees this as a victory, right? Because he saw losing 3 damage to a Strat Bomber to take 2 MPPs off of Paris for 1 turn as a victory. He said that, I believe, in the summit. Either that or in my PMs, I forget. But I love how confused he was about the rockets. He messaged me going, what do rockets do? And you could see him panic, trying to bombard it with a light cruiser. Well, let's see how we do in our first turn with a rocket in place. 1 damage. That's not that great. We have 2, what is the total range? Strike range of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They have a chance to do more damage. Yeah, they have a chance to do more damage than just 1. So that wasn't really too great. That's if London has 10 supply, which I believe it will. Might have more than that, actually. It might have something more like 12. Well, it's per strength point regardless. That's 2 MPPs off of his, and we don't get intercepted. And we can do this every turn. Well, assuming that we only did 1 damage per turn, that's 2 MPPs per turn. But I have a feeling we'll get better odds later. That was probably just a bad roll. Not to mention I'm going to get more into position. And so this is going to drain his MPPs while he already still doesn't have Lend-Lease active. He's operating a lot of aircraft into this region. And everything else that he's doing, it's just... I feel like we have a good situation here, and I feel like he's scrambling and panicking a little. Also while he's paying for Iraq, which I won't really need to pay very much. I can't upgrade this because the supply is so bad, sadly, so if he walks up right now, he actually has a pretty decent chance. Well, maybe. His own supply is going to be pretty crappy. But if he borders this before I can upgrade it to level 2, that would be very good for him. Iraq cannot have anything else. Iraq's going to fall. I'm going to let it fall. I did not set up to protect it, and I do not care to protect it. But we're now in February 14th of 1941, and with that, I believe we have a nice full episode now. So, we'll actually do this turn on the next one. For now, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.